You're watching the Hopeful Hope podcast. We must remain hopeful. I'm your host, Hope Baldwin. Our topic today is Poetry Matters. This is National Poetry Month, and my guest today is Ronald McCray. Hello, Ronald.
How are you? It's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Can you tell my viewers something about yourself?
Oh, absolutely. It will be truly a pleasure. My name is Ronald McCray. I am a poet, a new poet, as I always say, a baby in Christ. But nevertheless, I started my journey probably about several years ago when I was in school. It's when I first got the indication of writing a paper, and I started from that point. From there, I had been inspired ever since. So with me, I'm a creative thinker, and I believe that everyone should be a creative thinker using your mind, to do whatever it is that inspires you. So all of my thoughts of my book, my poetry, I've been inspired by my surroundings and my thoughts. So again, that's how I got into becoming an author.
Okay, I am too. Have a poetry book out. And it's been my experience that when you're writing poems, you have to be in a certain state of mind. Either you're writing about your experiences or someone in your inner circle experiences. So I have a couple of poems here. I read Ronald's book. This is Ron's book, We See Colors, The Organic Flavor of Life. And one of my favorite poems that he wrote is Dreams. I'm going to ask him to read this one for us. On page 6.
It's a pleasure. And if I may, as you indicated, being inspired by. And so that ties into even the title of my book, We See Colors. And as I will always express, it's not the colors that you see per se, but it's how you see life in itself, all around you. So that's how I tie We See Colors through your thinking. And that's where it led me up to this first poem that I'm about to express to you. Dreams. Dreams was interesting, and we all dream. Everyone has a dream. Whether one tap into themselves and understand what that dream represents is another story. But mine is based on my surroundings. And so here, if I may, read this one for you. Dreams. Dreams are a compilation of pieces and images where somebody, everybody, nobody wants to hear about. My dreams are what makes poetry sweet and mellow to the ear. We dream. Why do we dream? Are you crying inside? Laughing with peace, love, and joy? Oh, my soul yearns for the love I never knew. Unveil thy bosom, faithful tomb, and take this treasure to thy trust, and give this sacred relic room to slumber in the solemn dust. The spear of time embraces my soul with unforgiving sorrow, and knows no leaves nor trace of memories. For time has no time, only the moment to reflect in my dreams. In my dreams, space of the universe, trees sway, branches flow, leaves fall, with teardrops fade away. Birds soar with harmony, and the memories of my heart are stored. Do I live or do I die? If I cry, who will hear me? The sound in my head is the rumbling of a tracks as a train passes me by. Do I cry? Will they hear me? Or is it the figment of my imagination or my loneliness? I need love. I need it now. Where is it at? How do I find it? I planted a garden in flowers, tulips, perennials, grapevines, and seeds, but no one seems to notice me. In my dreams, we dance the night away.
Okay, so tell me exactly where your mindset was when you was writing that. Where were you?
My mind, when I was writing that, was in reference to romance, love, whether it's with self, with somebody, life, nature. It's about life in itself. It's about the romance. And I'm a firm believer, too many don't think about romance. You know, so many says, well, I'm in love, I love this, but think about the romance of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of tie that in, which I did, to when you're isolated, when you're by yourself, when you're lonely,
Mm-hmm.
and you start thinking and feeling, you know, who is here to see me, who's here to feel me, who's here to listen to me. And that's what's important. It's really indulging into yourself to find out your surrounding, your space in your writings. So that's where that pretty much comes from.
So I know when I wrote my book, it was like maybe 10 years of writing, one poem here, one there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do all of yours within a year, or was it just a collaboration of a lot of writings that you had written over the years or months?
It was a combination, because as a thought come to me, and I'm always in tune into something that sparks me. And so even when I started, it was a piece here, a piece there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I found myself continuing on a roll, you know, things hit me. I was writing on pieces of paper. As long as I put down a topic or a title or a piece of something,
Yes.
I always expound on that,
Mm-hmm.
which made the difference. And so later I come back and then build upon it, which makes sense. But outside that, it's, even right now, before I came here, you know, I just wrote something else, you know, because I'm working on a second book. You know, so that's how, for me, it's being inspired by what you see, what you think, what you feel. Something, it could be a conversation. Somebody can express something, you know, that has some kind of meaning to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's important. Something that's going to bring meaning. Because again, if it has meaning, it has substance, then you're going to tap into somebody who's feeling exactly what, in this case, dreams, nobody hear me, who's listening to me. So that's what's important.
Okay, and speaking of a second book, I get excited when people talk about the next book. So what is your next book about? I want my viewers to hear it first here on the Hopeful Hope, We Must Remain Hopeful show.
Well, it's a continuation of poetry,
Okay.
but different pathway. Again, a lot of my pieces are centered around relationships, direct, indirect, you know, the surroundings, romance, different perspective, different attitudes. You know, you can see yourself in it. You have to feel yourself in it, as well as do a self-examination. And so again, a lot of my pieces are centered around that. And again, hopefully and prayerfully, hopefully. You know?
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. Okay, because it's not easy for people to do a self-examination, because some of us just refuse to be honest with ourselves, right? We don't want to be accountable for things. So all of your inspiration comes from what's going on around you. So do you read any other genres?
Yes. And even with that, it will always, again, I'm inspired. What I read, if I read somebody else's book, somebody else's novel, somebody else's poetry, still it comes back to the original of my own. Yes, you're always inspired by something else, but I'm always trying to look at from being authentic.
So this is your favorite genre. This is poetry. You don't read any other books, you just focus on poetry books?
Right now, yes, it's only poetry and no other books.
Okay. Okay, well, I have something I would like to read. One of my favorites, poems by one of my favorite authors, Maya Angelou. I love her work. She does remarkable work, and I really love reading her work and reading about her. The title is Phenomenal Woman. Pretty woman, where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size, but when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say it's the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my hips, the stride of my steps, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as I please, and to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes, and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, and the joy in my feet. What they see in me, they try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the circle of my back, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breast, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenally woman. That's me. Now you understand just why my head not bowed. I don't shout or jump about, have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need of my care, 'cause I'm a woman, phenomenally woman. That's me. By Maya Angelou. That's one of my favorite poets and one of my favorite poems that she's written. And being that it's National Poetry Month, I wanted to share that with my viewers. Okay, so Ron, is there anything else about you that no one knows that you want to share with my viewers?
Well, it's interesting. I want everybody to know who I am, but it seems like nobody come to find me. Nobody search me, you know. But, you know, in all jokes aside with that, which is important, because, again, I think even as an author and everyone that writes, we're writing because I believe that we're telling a story, and we want somebody to know our story. You know, what's important is for the individual to know his or her story. So to know about me is to know how I think. What is my visions? What do I see? How do I feel? And I think that's really the best way to express for somebody to get to know you. What is the inside versus the outside? I see you, okay, it's one thing, but do I know you? But the only way to get to know you is to do a self-examination, meaning that in my own writing and my thinking, who is this person? And in this case, who is Hope? You know, so what does hope mean? We all use the term,
all the time.
but then who is Hope? You know, hopeful, you know, and I think that says a lot. So again, to get to know who I am is to understand and look at it from your perspective in my writings.
Okay. So what would you tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, and it's interesting because when I look at me of my younger self, that looking ahead of me, you know, what do I see? Where do I want to go? Who am I standing here telling me? As I look back, talking to me. But when I was young, looking ahead, I was only thinking about what do I want to be. So now when I look back to tell me, what you see at the time is what you could see. Continue to move forward on the journey. And as life starts to unfold, you will start to see everything that unfolds to you. You know, you just have to be focused on that and not be distracted by something that's negative and take you off the course of fulfilling your dreams.
Yes, that happens often to many of people. It doesn't take much to distract you, and if you're not focused and you can't sustain that focus, you will go left. But I think it's good to have a village. What do you think about having a village and the people who don't have a village?
I'm glad you asked that, because one of the things I believe, and I stand on this, is technically the old term used to be a village, but in the old term, it was a village. Unfortunately, you have to look at it now. Do we have a village? Well, as you asked me the question, the importance of a village is extremely important because the village is like an enclosed family. You know, you help one another, you help somebody, you inspire somebody, you lift somebody up, young, middle, or older, even seniors. Everybody has a story.
Yes.
You see, So by having a village, doesn't matter what your business or your title or your profession is, but a village is how we connect to make one body. Many parts, one body. If you missing a part, with all due respect to those who unfortunately have a disability, but you look at the rest of the body, that one part that's missing doesn't dismantle the whole body.
Exactly.
It keeps you going. So by having a whole body and new parts, which is new people to be inspired to help one another, it makes a big difference, because there are so many right now, young, middle, and seasoned people out here want the opportunity just to be around somebody that will inspire them to fulfill their dreams and opportunity. But you'd be surprised how many, even as we write, the loneliness. You see, the perception might be where somebody says, well, I'm lonely because what? I have a problem? No. Somebody looking for the opportunity. There's somebody in that community, that village, to tap into, to inspire them, because that's what it's all about.
I believe that you have to be okay with putting some of your desires aside, because sometimes that's when the gift really comes, when you're trying to help someone else when you're in need. And once you reach your destination, that person will bring you up. Some people think, well, what about me? What about me? Well, your blessing's going to come when you're helping someone. So we all can't be first, is what I'm trying to say. We all can't put ourselves first. Sometimes you have to be okay with helping people and putting some of your desires aside. And of course, you have to be okay with being alone. Because if you can't love yourself, no one can love you. You
Absolutely.
can't love anyone.
Absolutely. And that's where the balance come in.
That's where the
Helping somebody, while I'm helping somebody, somebody's helping me, because I'm looking for the exact same thing in a different manner, different way. You know, it's like somebody who has a key to open up a door. But then who has the door? How do I cross through? I have a key, but you have the doorknob. Somebody else have a lock. How do we pull those together to make one entrance for everyone for the opportunity? And I think that's what's important, because once that takes place, and as you indicated, helping somebody, we're building a doorway for the rest of the community, which is the whole village. That means others don't have to sit and say, well, what about me? We're showing you the way.
Each one.
Here's the door. Each one teach one. Exactly.
But some people I find that they too impatient, so I think that's where the communication, falls apart. It just doesn't connect, because everyone trying to do them instead of saying, I can do me next year. I'm going to help this person, and then when that person get there, then they can bring me up, then I can bring somebody up. If everyone bring one person up, help one person, you'd be surprised how our village will begin to prosper.
And that's also a good point too. And I look at it from this perspective. Distraction. Distraction is like a scar. If a child or an adult or somebody scratch themselves, right away you focus on that injury, minor or whatever. But somebody else may have first aid. Did you hurt yourself? Are you hurting? Not to get focused on just that scar or whatever took place that caused you to get off track, trying to help somebody without somebody being there. So the whole thing in that manner is that each one or whoever, in a lot of ways, have to understand that as I'm helping, I'm also helping. And because somebody's helping me. And as was said earlier, each one teach one. But each one has to be there. But even if somebody don't have that Band-Aid, part of that village, somebody else had to be there to bring a substance, a fill-in.
Exactly.
You see, and that's what's important. So again, we're not lost by ourselves because we're trying to help somebody.
Exactly.
And that's what's important.
So I have another one in here that I read. I read the whole book, but a couple of them stood out to me when it came to this show. On page 86, Magic in Your Eyes. Can you read that one for us?
Which one? 86?
Yes.
I look at that because it's interesting to give you a short piece of that,
Uh-huh.
I was getting ready to do a segment with a friend of mine who had since passed away, and he was a singer, and I was going to do some poetry. And the young lady that was with us, before we got started, I looked at her, and that's where it came to me, the magic in your eyes. So I build upon that because, again, it's important when you look at somebody, male or female, whoever, it doesn't matter. You have to see something that's sparkling, something that you may see that the individual may not. So, if I may, read this.
Sure.
Magic in your eyes, the soft gleam in your eyes is like the soft, silky, aquatic, soothing across the deep ocean waves. There is magic in your eyes. Green leaves fell into your hands like a tender drop falling from the shade of your smile. And the beauty from within causes the heart to speak without words. The moment of your body is a harvest of pure California grapes simmering in the valley of sweltering heat. The rainbow colors burst in all directions just because of the magic in your eyes. Eyes are the inner visions of my soul, seeing beyond the magic star without sharing the secret of my emotion. Time has been my garden where the morning dew hydrates my thirst. There is magic in your eyes, gleaming and sparkling like flavored wine, emollient as the blue skies and dark as the midnight moon that shines. Hold me, embrace me with your love while my tears fill my cheek and your lips call my name.
That's a good one. I like that one. Okay, guys, this is concluding the show. I want to let you guys know that my book signing is April 20th between 11 to 3, Broadway Public Library. It's on a Saturday, so I hope you see you there. You will be able to buy one of my 4 books. This is my latest book, Hope for Hope, Perseverance and Education is the Answer. You have Fearful Fanny, about a young girl who was fearful and she became fearless, and Life Through My Eyes Before Church, which is about my mindset before I really start studying the scriptures of the Bible. These are my eyes. This is my mother eyes, Mama Bay. Anybody that know me know these are Mama Bay eyes. And I wrote this book during COVID, Books Regarding the Mid-COVID-19, Universal Conversations. It's pretty much about how we all was in it together, going through the same thing, trying to stay strong, persevere with our mindset. It was a lot of mental issues going on because we was going through the unknown, the uncertainties. We all tried to figure it out. A lot of us made it through, some didn't. So this is what it's going to be on April 20th at Broadway Public Library. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. And I'm glad you guys are tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, perseverance and education is the answer. Until next time, thank you.